Hello, Taylor Elwood, and welcome to the Sacred Masculinity Podcast. And today I'm going to be answering the question of what is men's work. Before I do that, I'm just going to briefly turn on my Instagram. So, what is men's work? You might have heard this phrase, men's work, bandied around by myself and other people. You might have read some books, but you might still wonder, what is men's work? What is this phrase, men's work? And so let me tell you what it is. Let's unpack it. Men's work is work that men are doing on themselves. It's inner work. So it's not the kind of it's not the idea of, okay, I'm going out and I'm doing a specific type of job out there in the outside world, right? That might be what you might initially think when you hear the words men's work. No, this is about doing the work on yourself to dismantle the patriarchal values and ideas and concepts that have been thrown around in our lives so often. This is the kind of work that we have to necessarily examine carefully when we look at our lives and what it is that we're trying to do. Men's work is a work that we need to do in order to help ourselves become better. If you've struggled with showing up in your relationship and your partner is always unhappy with you, guess what? You probably need to do some men's work. If you're out there in the world and you're settling for a mediocre job that you don't really enjoy doing, guess what? That's men's work you need to do. Men's work essentially is work that is getting you to look at your innermost needs, wants, and desires and asking you to explore what those are in order to uncover them and help you to transform your life in a rich and meaningful way. When I see when I see a man who isn't doing men's work, what I usually see is a man who feels shut down. He has trouble expressing his feelings. He has trouble telling somebody what he wants and needs. He's afraid of the world around him, and he's afraid of other men, and he's afraid of his romantic partner. And usually there's good reasons for that because he's been so shut down that he doesn't know how to connect. I also see this with men who are always trying to be in the lead. They're trying to be the alpha male. They're trying to live up to patriarchal values where they have to be the one on top of everything else, and yet they're feeling so burned out and so overwhelmed and so under pressure, and they don't really feel like they have anyone they can connect with. That's someone who needs to do the men's work. I see it with men who lash out at the world around them. They're angry and they feel like the only emotion they can express is anger. Men's work is for them as well. Now look, if you're a man and you're watching this, I want you to know that there are resources available to you. I'm one of those resources. And if you click on the link below, you can access some of those different resources, including a free men's group that I run on the second Tuesday of each month. And this kind of work is absolutely essential to helping you get in touch with your feelings and emotions, get in touch with your wants and needs, getting in touch with who you really are. There are a lot of men these days who are putting everything about themselves on the back burner because they've been told that they're not supposed to cry, they're not supposed to feel emotions, or they're told that being a man is shameful, and that and they're made to feel ashamed of being a man. If you've been that kind of man, if you've had that kind of experience where you felt shut down or where you feel like you have to be ultra competitive with everyone around you, where you feel like you always have to be on, if you've been the kind of man who feels like he's got so much anger within him and he doesn't know how else to express any other emotions such as the sadness or the shame or the guilt or the fear, or for that matter the joy, the love, and the happiness, you're not alone. There are other men out there who are going through the same thing. And I used to be one of those men until I started doing men's work. Now, I'd always done a fair amount of internal work on myself over the years. I started doing inner work in 2004 when I started doing taking on a meditation practice, and I was able to work through a lot of hard emotions and things along those lines. But I didn't really start doing men's work until a couple years ago. And when I did it is when I started sitting in circle with other men and sharing my experiences and stories and listening to their experiences and stories and doing it in a way where I wasn't trying to solve them. I wasn't trying to fix them. No, I was honoring them for where they were at. I was seeing them for who they were, and I was seeing myself in them. And that's important too, because men feel this pressure to fix everything around them. They're told they have to be the providers, that they have to be the fixer, that they have to get their act together, that they have to always show up and show up in a way where they're never allowed to admit their innermost wants and needs. And I'm here to tell you that that is not healthy. Just as it's not healthy for a man to physically beat someone or be mentally abusive or feel like he has to always be in control of the environment around him. You don't always have to be in control of the environment around you. You definitely don't need to express your anger in ways that are unhealthy for you and unhealthy for the people in your life. But a lot of men don't know that. They don't know any other way. They don't know that there can actually be a safe space for them to share their fears and their frustrations and anxieties. They don't know that it's possible to connect with other men and that other men will actually hold them lovingly accountable, but be there for them, that they're not going to try and take them down, that they're not going to undermine them, that they're not going to sabotage them. But the truth is that men need to do men's work. There's not a man out there that I don't know, there's not a man out there that I know or don't know for that matter. But seriously, there isn't that doesn't need this work. Every man needs to do men's work, in my opinion. And it's not because there's anything wrong with men. It's because we've just been indoctrinated into a certain way of being. And that indoctrination is more harmful and toxic than anything else. It is something that brings us down. It is something that tears us apart. It is something that is soul destroying. And it's where we see men who are stressing themselves out and they're getting heart attacks. They're in poor health. They're not taking good care of themselves. They're not getting enough sleep. They're not getting enough exercise. They're not eating healthy food. They're not doing any of the other things because they don't feel like they can. And they don't even necessarily like or love themselves enough to do it. They're watching porn all the time because they want to have sex, but they don't know how to ask for it. They don't know how to speak up for their needs. Or they're drinking alcohol or taking drugs and they're numbing themselves. And that's what men's work is about. Men's work is about building you up. It's about helping you let go of those toxic behaviors that are harming you so that you can step forward and be in a space that is positive and empowering and impactful for yourself and for the people around you. Because the thing is the people around you, they want you to show up, but they want you to show up in a way that's healthy. But they don't know how to ask for it either. And in some cases, they'd probably be genuinely uncomfortable if you expressed yourself in certain ways because they don't know how to handle it. We've been told that men don't cry. This is still something that I see even now, and I hear even now. But the truth is that men cry and boys cry, and it is okay to feel emotion. It is important to feel emotion. You don't have to be in control of everything, and you're not in control of everything. And that's what men's work is for. It creates a space where you can start to relate in a genuine and real way to who you are and to show up in a manner that allows people in. So, if you're curious to learn more about men's work, I invite you to click on the link below and check out the resources that I have available for you. and connect with me. I would love to help you out. I offer a free coaching session, and I'm happy to connect with you in that way so that you can learn what men's work is and how it can transform your life.